Next Legacy.
Are you searching for the perfect gift? Or do you just need a unique statement piece for yourself? Well, either way, Danaya Azure will help you out. What you need is the S4S jewelry collection by Danaya Azure for you. S4S stands for strictly for a stage. Stand out at your next photo or video shoot. Snag that magazine cover. Go from being a part-time extra to an actor or actress who stays booked. Or just be the talk of the town at every event. Danaya Design for You jewelry is handcrafted and Chicago made for men, women, and children. To start your collection, simply go to www.danayaazure.com. That's www.danayaazure.com. That's www.danayaazure.com.
Next Legacy.
Good afternoon. Ooh, the mics are working. They're nice and hot. I love it. Hello. This is Danaya Azure Radio, and I am here with the fabulous, ultimate beast primus, aka Yomi Miller. How are you? Can you hear me?
Hi. I'm good.
Good. Great to hear. So what is going on, mister?
Trucker life stuff. Stuck out in this truck.
I know, it's crazy. I was like, what
I
is...
got about...
Huh?
You got me for a solid 25 minutes.
25 minutes, Dilly?
Yeah. Maybe 30. That's the job, Carroll. They want me to work.
Of course.
So I can hold them
Of course they want you to work now. See? Hey, Maria, if you're tuning in, welcome. Hello, Iwa. Man, okay, so I met Yomi, oh my God, was it 8 years ago now, I think? Yeah, like 8 years ago. We were doing a project with Jobs for Youth, remember? At the corn place.
Way more than 8 years ago.
Okay, so was it 10 years? Maybe 10 now. Lord have mercy. It's been a minute.
I think that was 2004, 2005.
Yeah. Was it that long? Seriously? No. Oh my gosh, you're right. I'm off.
13 years.
Damn, 13 years? That's a long time. Yeah, I don't see him very often. That's why I don't know this, because I don't see him very often. He'll do things where he'll go away for a couple of years and go do some stuff in the army and not talk to nobody, shut off his phone and things. That's why.
Don't do me that.
But I wanted Yomi to come in here today because he does a multitude of things. So how long have you been in the military now?
It'll be 13 years, March 15th.
Wow. So he's been in the military for 13 years. So what made you decide to go to the army?
I was 19 and I needed a job.
What?
But what made me stay is the camaraderie, the brotherhood, the benefits, having a sense of purpose in a career.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, you definitely have a sense of purpose, and I think because you've even talked about some of your missions. Though I would have been like, okay, I'm done, but you have been steadfast at it, and and I think and thank you for your service, because it's a lot. It's a lot to work in the military and deal with all the craziness.
Every year you want to get out. After your first term, you just want to get out every year. So you gotta find something to keep yourself motivated.
Yeah, I understand that one. Trust me. So the one thing that's really interesting for me is that you teach karate now, right? So how did you get into karate in the first place?
Power Rangers, Ninja Turtles. That's what I wanted to be when I was a kid.
Really? Really? That's what we're doing right now? Seriously?
No. My mom, I've always been into it, but because of those kind of TV shows growing up, and my mom put me in a manhood class by this guru by the name of Kalfani River, and he
Hey.
taught how to cook. Like they were vegan, and he taught martial arts and he did sports, and it was a bunch of boys there that just was products of single fathers, and he was more than a martial arts instructor. He was like a surrogate father. So that's how I started, and he was teaching African martial arts.
Oh, that's awesome. So
Yeah.
so what is the form that you teach now called?
Goju Karate. It's one of the oldest styles of karate. I have a third degree black belt in Goju, first degree in Aikido. I have a fourth degree black belt at another school in Goju and an equivalent in Jiu-Jitsu.
Insanity. Yeah, I was with you when you got your black belt because I was with you and your mom and your sister, and I was like, oh my goodness. Well,
I black belt
you cannot. I'm never going to one of those again. That was scary. Oh my goodness, it was crazy.
Yeah, I broke my hand and my foot that day.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised because that was it was kind of nuts. Hey, Lorelai, how are you? But so the newest thing that you're doing is battle rapping. So how in the world? Now you've done everything in the world. How in the world did you get into the world of battle rap?
I was in the truck just like this, and I was like, man, I was thinking back about being a teenager, and I was watching the MTV battles, and so I decided to look on YouTube and look for them, and then I started looking for them, and I found some, and I started running through them, and then I have a wrestling page that we do competitions on. I'm not really active on there anymore, but one of them was rap battles, and we did written rap battles, and then one day we decided to do a video rap battle where one person drops their video and the other person drops theirs, and then they vote to see who won. And then like it was just so many people that saw my video, and it was just like, you need to go battle for real, you know.
Wow.
And so that's when I went to do research to find the battle leagues in the city, like 2016 year, and then I got my first battle in 2017.
That's awesome. Like, and I think what's really dope is that you weren't searching for it. You just kind of just like, okay, let me just play around with it. But you didn't just jump into it. You actually did research. I think a lot of people will kind of jump into stuff and not pay attention, but you really did some research. That's dope. Very, very.
Well, I didn't want to suck, so.
Oh, you could like that wasn't even an option for you. You're too active for that. You couldn't suck. That wouldn't work out very well.
Well, there's a lot of people that don't like me, but I'm glad all the people that don't like me can't say I'm trash. Like they can't say you garbage. They can say they don't like me, but they can't. Chicago is a cutthroat city when it comes to this industry. It's hard.
If you do the right, but if you're good at your craft, then you already know that. Then you can go somewhere else. You don't have to be here. You feel me?
Yeah, you can travel. I did a little bit of traveling. You can travel.
A little bit of
That's how you
traveling.
make your
A
money.
lot of traveling for the Army. So
What you say again?
I said a little bit of traveling for the battle rap, but definitely a lot of it of traveling for the Army. What countries have you been to now?
Korea and Germany, and I've gone to the Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico, and all over the U.S.
That's beautiful. Like that's beautiful. And I think the biggest thing about that is the fact that you're doing this and you're doing it yourself with it. Because it's not easy to be a soldier. It's not easy to sacrifice that much time for the country.
No, it's draining. It can be draining sometimes. And then you get into it, and it becomes a whirlwind of realizing how many people depend on you. Not just in your unit or in the country. So
Hey, genius.
for me to walk around in the hood and my uniform and for little black boys to see that, like I know like some of or something. Like they've never seen anybody like that. They never seen a soldier. They never seen anybody come from their neighborhood, their walk of life, and make it out. So
Wow.
um, that's an interesting realization to have in this day and age. Whereas, like I remember, I kind of coupled it with this other thing. There are kids that were born in like the 2000s, right? And at the age where they were old enough to realize what a president was, the first president they ever saw was Obama.
Mm-hmm.
You got to understand like the impact that puts on black kids, that the first president you ever know in your whole life, first 8 years of you realizing what a president is, it's a black dude. You know what I mean? And then like it blew me away where I was around little kids and I was the first soldier they ever saw that wasn't in the movie.
Amazing.
So that little stuff kind of keeps me going.
Yeah, and that's what people don't realize is how much young kids look up to us and what it means to see us be the first of this or the first of that. The one thing that I know of is that when I used to go to different cities for dance and whatnot, we were like some of the very few black faces these kids ever saw, ever, because most of these towns are predominantly Caucasian. And even though there's still some towns in Illinois, I just went down there with Candy like a few months ago. We were in, oh Lord, I forgot, some crazy ass southern town, and literally we were the only two black folks in that town in 2018. Wow. Like we're like, why are they looking at us weird? Oh my God, we're the only people of color in this town. Period. Okay.
You're educated, you don't fall into the stereotype of what they probably have seen on TV.
Yeah, it was Carthage, Illinois, which is, people were like, where? Yeah,
Carthage.
It's far. It's far down there. Wow. And it's crazy.
That's like 160 miles or something like that. That's pretty cool.
Like that, yeah. Yeah, definitely. And it's it's crazy.
Tucker, how you doing?
And it's crazy. Hey, Denise, are you coming in? So Denise is supposed to come in because he actually did my shirt, but after we done your interview. But hold on 1 second. Hold on. 1 second. Yeah, so it's kind of crazy, but we are 1 minute. Sorry about that. Yeah, so it's calling me. I'm like, I'm live. Why do not call me when I'm live, people? Hello. But yeah, so when you think about the impact that you can have on a community, it makes you rethink what you do. I mean, like, absolutely. And I think, especially when it comes to being in the military, doing karate, because you taught a lot of kids. I remember I came to your class, I did twice, and you had a lot of kids in there. You know what I mean? But yeah. And to teach kids discipline at that young age is so important, because you don't want to use karate as a tool to harm people, but you want to use it as a tool to defend yourself. And you were very, very adamant about that. And I think a lot of these young kids don't get that right now. All they do, they see stuff on TV, they see stuff on YouTube, but they don't really understand, what's going on behind the scenes. They don't understand the importance of being patient and being respectful.
So, like,
what do you think?
I remember. Yeah, go ahead. What's your question?
What do you think one of the main things that being in the Army has taught you?
You're gonna die anyway, so stop being a pussy and face your problems.
Well.
Stand up straight.
No, that's straightforward. That's straightforward.
Stand up straight. It's gonna suck. Like, it's a reflection of life, and it's a reflection of how chaotic it can be and how beautiful it can be if you persevere through the chaos.
Yes. Yeah.
And it, like, the Army, they don't feed us nothing, no crazy gourmet food. But it's like, no matter what you're eating, if you've worked all day to get to it, it becomes more valuable when you do eat it. And that's life. Not everything, you could have had a long day. Like, I was stuck out in this truck yesterday because of the storm. We talked about that before this.
Right.
And there's nothing too special about my apartment. But I know when I get back there tonight, I'm gonna shoot it because I earned it. But that's what it's teaching me. It's like when you work for something, no matter how good or how great the reward is, it becomes that much more bigger because you've earned it. And whatever you gotta do to earn it is gonna suck. So stop being a pussy and deal with it, because you're gonna die anyway. Better off dying a winner than dying a coward.
Very true. That is very true. And I think because a lot of people are so afraid that they just freeze. They're so afraid they won't even do anything. Like, they're so afraid to fail that they will do nothing and just let whatever opportunity they have roll by. And
failure has a safety net. It has a safety net, and misery has a safety net, and self-pity. People will rather get used to failing than to get bad at winning. Like, I'd rather be a bad winner than a good failure. Like, I wouldn't want to get so good that I'm always losing that it becomes common and then I become a fearful person. But I'd rather be bad at failing but bad at winning. So by the time I do win something, it is worth it. But this is a therapist that I listen to named Dr. Jordan Peterson. He has a book. There's a book I bought. It's really about adulthood. It's called Jordan Peterson's 12 Rules for Life.
Okay.
It's like 15 books on Amazon. And one of the things she said was when you're talking about people getting frozen up by failure, you have to analyze your future, and you have to say, the thing that I'm scared of, am I more scared of that than I am scared of the life that I'm going to have if I don't overcome that?
Right.
So you say, let's say somebody's goal is to lose weight, right? And they're scared of injuring themselves, and they're scared of being embarrassed at the gym. And then those are the two fears. And then they need to weigh being scared of injuring themselves and scared of being embarrassed. And they have to weigh those with dying at 40.
Right.
Like, which one are you more scared of?
It's scarier.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Am I scared of, dying at 40 or 45 than I am just dealing with a little bit of embarrassment and maybe risking some energy, some injuries? Which ones are you more scared of? You know what I mean? And so there's nothing wrong with having fears, but you need to analyze them. You need to pick your fears. You need to figure out which one is worth more. And that is going to be the thing. Because I'm like, I would rather be more scared of the goal than I am of being scared of starting a goal. And you won't start, you won't do anything. So pick your fears. And you can't stop them, but you need to pick which one's most important, and that'll probably get you a little bit past it. If you figure that the fear of bigger than being embarrassed, then that would get you over the embarrassment part. You know what I mean? Because you're like, I'm looking at what's more important. So I don't think you should just try to act like fear doesn't exist. I think you should just use it. You have to figure out how to use it to your advantage, because you can use your weaknesses to your advantages, and that's one way.
Definitely, because if you don't work through the fear, then you're just gonna be afraid of your life, and that's the last thing that you ever want.
Well, you're not living if you're afraid of you. You're never living. You're in this constant state of anxiety, worrying about what people think, if you're good enough, if you're gonna be accepted, can you win, are you enough? you won't have any self-esteem. You'll just be scared of where you go.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We talked about the Army. So what do you think the biggest thing that you learned from teaching karate and from taking karate?
The biggest thing I learned about teaching karate is everybody has to get it when they're ready. It clicks for everybody at different times.
Yes.
Um,
Okay.
and that's where the instructor's patience has to come in. He is the guide to help the individual find their inner warrior. And no matter how hard you train them, no matter how hard they train, you cannot make it click for them, and they can't make it click for them. It's something that just naturally has to happen when they come into bloom on their own. You just got to be patient and stick with them, and try to inspire them to stick with it. So learning that things don't click for people as fast as you may want it to. So that's a level of patience that I have to have. And then is so it's interesting when you growing up and you see a martial arts film and you hear concepts in the film and you don't think that they're real because it's in a movie. And then over years of training, you actually learn the concept and you're like, so the concept is valuable
Yes. Absolutely.
to me that I learned
Trina.
was in the Matrix when Neo and Morpheus were talking, and he was basically explaining to him in the first movie that you're the one, you're going to be able to do all these unimaginable things. And he says, so you saying I could dodge bullets? And then Morpheus' response was, when you're ready, you don't have to be. And that was like superhuman to me, right? Like I was like, oh man, that's like Superman. Like he could be asleep. If somebody shoot him, he's always ready. You can't penetrate through his chest because he's Superman. So the concept of when you're ready, you don't have to be. When you are skilled, when you are aware, when you are humble, when you are moving positively in the right direction, you kind of avert danger before it gets to you. You stave off danger before it gets to you. When it does come to you, you're so aware that you've seen so many footprints before the threat has actually made it in your vicinity.
Yes.
It's kind of like an invisible man in the snow, right? Like you don't see him, but you see his footprints. And then by the time he appears right in front of you, you already was aware of his presence.
Yes.
And so the more you train, the more you become aware of the threat before it even gets closer to you. So in essence, when you're ready, you don't have to be. Like if somebody touches me, like I'm very sensitive physically, so I know like if the touch is a threat or if the touch is love. You know what I mean? Like, hey, how you doing? That was a good job, or it's come this way, or I'm about to do something to you. And it doesn't matter how hard or how fast or how soft the touch is. Like I perceive the threat spiritually, because throughout the training, that's the level of awareness you get. It's not just awareness. It's kind of a warrior consciousness. And to ask a lion when the lion is ready to hunt is a dumb question. It's always ready to hunt. When they're ready, they don't have to be because they're lions. They're always it. You feel what I'm saying? So when you become a warrior, you're always it. So when there's a threat, you're always ready because that's right up your lane. You know what I mean? But you have to become a warrior first. So that was a concept that I learned as far as practicing, which actually kind of came true from seeing the movie. And I was like, that sounds cool. That's a cool line. But when I felt it, like I experienced it the first time when I pulled a sword out on my teacher coming out the bathroom.
Oh my God! What?
I used to play Frank.
No.
I used to play Frank, and I pulled the sword out and I went to cut, and he blocked the sword, razor blade sword, with his hand, and Um, he didn't when the sword came, he didn't tap directly into the blade because it just would have split his flesh, right? He, in his fucking matrix vision, right? When the blade came, he came across the top of it and chopped it down on the flat end. But when you looked at it, it looked like he just blocked it. That's how fast it was. And he did like this, and he popped it back. So on the naked eye, it just looked like he popped the sword. You know what I mean? But he was so quick that he popped the top end of the sword on the flat side and pushed it out the way, and then hit me in the nuts.
Yeah, you deserve that.
There was nothing that there was nothing that could have prepared him for opening a door and seeing a blade swing to his face.
No.
You feel what I'm saying? When you're ready, you don't have to. That was the first time I witnessed it. And then the first time I experienced it was when we had brought this ex-con into the classroom, and he was there for like 3 weeks, and then eventually he wanted to spar, and I never wanted to spar this dude because I was just like, he's been in real fights. I was like a purple belt or something, and he was punching, and I was scared of him. But it was one time when my teacher said stop, and when my teacher said stop, I stopped immediately,
Right.
And I stopped, and before I knew it, there was a punch coming, and I just looked at it, and I just curved it down. But I wasn't in combat mode anymore because my teacher told me to stop.
Right.
You know, and, but I didn't feel any fear. I didn't feel any urgency. It was like a spidey sense, and it was just like.
Nice.
But the punch was coming at full speed. So that was the first time I experienced it, whereas I did something without thinking about it and without even realizing it was happening.
Right.
My body took over where my mind wasn't aware. So when you're ready, you don't have to be. You can do things that you don't actually perceive that you can do. So that was the concept I learned.
Wow. That's insane. Like that, but it's so true. And the same thing goes for if you're an artist, if you're a dancer, like if you practice long enough, but you can forget everything.
You don't need a routine.
But your body will take over. I definitely, when I say
if you're dancing with somebody,
body took over for real, because I was like, I couldn't remember nothing. I'm so stressed out. But and so it's funny that concept that can carry over for so many different things. And it has to for karate.
Yeah, it's because it's not a martial arts concept. It's a conscious awareness concept between the body and the spirit. The spirit is actually perceiving the threats and perceiving the blessings and seeing everything before the body even catches on to it.
Absolutely.
So the spirit tries to get the body ready for it. You know what I mean? The best that it can. So the more you're in tune with your spirit, the more prepared you are to adapt.
Yeah.
You've seen it on TV where there's been like a duet dancing, and then somebody forgot their moves, but the other person just kept moving, and they kept it flowing, and it helped that person compensate until they got it back together. And you just got to be one with your craft in order to be able to do that. And that can be in the craft.
Yeah, because your body has to be ready for that. Because you're like, what do you mean you forgot your step? Okay. And your body just takes over. That's the only way to be able to get through that, is that your body has to be trained to do that, though.
When your body takes over, that's you. That's actually you. Not a lot of people get to experience the real them. You experience the real you in crisis. So, whoever you are, you never really experience the real you when things are perfect. It's when a crisis happens, and that's who you are. If you're courageous, you're courageous. If you're a coward, you're a coward. Whatever may happen, like at that moment, that's you. If that came out and you started moving and you started flowing with the music or whatever, well, that's who you are at that moment. And it came out for the world to see.
Yeah, a perfect example is that we were moving furniture or something, and my mom had like lost her strength, and the couch was like coming down on her. She had fell out, actually. She was like just falling out on the back porch. And so like I don't even know where it came from, I swear, but I picked the couch up and just threw it over the banister. Like the strength of God literally came out of me, and I was like, and I just got it over, and because I was concerned about how she was doing. You know what I mean? Like when you are in that moment, the strength just comes from. So make sure you guys follow Yomi at Ultimate Beast Primus on Instagram. Are you on Twitter as well, or just Instagram?
No, I need to get me a Twitter.
You do need to get you a Twitter. You do need to do that.
Yeah.
You need to do that. So make sure you guys follow Yomi.
One thing, bro, and that just is just seen by the world. You know. And I like to write. Twitter don't let you write that many. How many characters it let you write?
200 characters. You can put a video up there. You can put a picture. You can do a live stream. You will be okay. Trust me. You can do tweets and all that kind of stuff. The 45 can use Twitter.
I'm gonna go ahead and give me a Twitter. And if you guys want to come out to the show, I'm gonna drop the flyer up on this post.
Yes,
up on this live.
Yes, drop the flyer. On this post, make sure that you put the link in for the tickets and all that fun stuff as well.
I will.
I know you're back to work, so I will.
I'll drop a battle in the comments.
Yeah, definitely. Yes, I'll drop all your links in the comments. So you guys, make sure you guys go check out the comments. He's gonna have all of his links in there, so you can follow and support, like, comment, share, all that fun stuff. I know you gotta get back to work, so I will talk to you soon. Thank you again, Yomi.
Yeah, we're gonna do this again when I have more time.
I know we can actually come back to the studio. How about that?
Yeah, but this is a cool intro. You know what I'm saying? And this can feel we can have some more topics to talk about. But yes. I appreciate coming on to the show. Everybody that's listening and watching, I appreciate you guys.
Much love, man. Take care.
All right.
Next Legacy.
Do you love American music? Have you ever heard of The Turkey Fought Back, Twerking with a Twang, or A Song About Us? Danaya Azure Radio is now sponsored by UncleRhino.com. You can check out all of these incredible international hits and grab some phenomenal merch at www.UncleRhino.com. They have gear for the entire family. T-shirts, hoodies, koozies, travel mugs, mouse pads, and so much more. That's www.UncleRhino.com. Tell them Danaya Azure sent you.
Next Legacy.